All right, what up, guys? Today we're going to talk about zero property polynomials, right? And what does that mean is basically, right, now that you have been working with polynomials a little bit, trinomials in particularly, let's say that you have something like this, right, plus 24, right? And you will find out that we're going to make this into a function, which means we're going to turn this into X relationship and also a Y relationship. And we'll teach you guys how to graph this. And part of graphing is to find solutions, which are called x-intercepts, okay? And one thing that you need to know about these x-intercepts is that you got the x-intercept and the y-coordinate is 0, no matter where these are, okay? And sometimes you'll have one solution, no solutions, or two solutions. In this case, we'll try to find two solutions for most of these problems, okay? So here's how that goes. Let's say that you have that indeed, x squared minus 11x plus 24 and equals to y. But remember, y is equal to 0. So when you try to find a solution to a trinomial, it must equal to 0. If it doesn't equal to 0, you have to make it so that it does equal to 0. For example, let's say that this was instead positive 19 minus 5. It does not equal to 0, does it? Well, in order to make it equal to 0, I have to add 5 on each side. And I'll end up with negative 11x plus 24 equals to 0. Now I can go ahead and try to find those zeros or those roots or those solutions. And they're called either roots or x-intercepts or solutions. They're even called zeros. Okay, so you'll see, and they all mean the same thing. We're trying to find these right here. Okay, that's what we're trying to find, right? Now, there's three methods that you're going to learn, but we're just going to teach you one this week, which you already kind of know is factoring. So we're going to go ahead and try to find the zeros of this factoring. Now by that, I'm going to go ahead and make a t-chart. Again, A times C, B. I'm going to put positive 24 here and negative 11 here. We know that this is going to be a negative, and this is also going to be a negative. Both of them are going to be negatives. You should know that. All right, so you got positive 24, and you got negative 1, negative 24, negative 2, negative 12, negative 3, negative 8, negative 4, negative 6, right? And one of these gives me negative 11. Which one? This one does, right? So I'm going to go ahead and put negative 3 and negative 8, and I'm going to attempt to divide that by a. In this case, a is 1, right? A is 1. And so, I don't have to go any further. Simplifying by 1 doesn't change anything. So in this case, thankfully, it was an easy one. The factors are x minus 3 and, oh, that's so thick. The factors are x minus 3 and x minus 8. Here's the thing, though. If you leave it like that, you found the factors. You did not find the solution. Remember, the solution equals to 0. So these are two factors that multiply to 0. So if you know your zero, multiplication tables, right? Everybody should know them. You know that only one of those factors needs to be 0 in order for the whole thing to be 0. Either 0 times factor 2 equals to 0, or factor 1 times 0 equals to 0, right? I only need one 0. So when I have to find the zeros of this situation, here's what I'm going to do. This one has to equal to 0, and or this one has to equal to 0, right? Because in this case, we have two solutions, okay? So let's see. In order to find the 0 here, I'm going to add 3 on both sides, and I end up with x equals to 3. So that's one solution, okay? The other solution is plus 8, and I get x equals to 8. That's the other solution. So the solutions are 3, 0 and 8, 0. Or, sometimes they'll just say 3, 8, like that, okay? So that was really easy because a was 1. So what happens if a is not 1? Example number 2, 3x squared minus 16x minus 12 equals to 0. Okay, again, it has to equal to 0. I'm going to go ahead and do the factorization. Negative 36, and where the heck do I get that? I multiply these two together. Negative 16, these two are the same, which means this one is going to be negative, and this one is going to be positive. So I know that much, okay? So let's see here. Negative 36, This is positive, this is negative, this is positive, this is negative, this is positive, negative. I think there's 5 of them if I'm not mistaken. 1 and 36, 2 and 18, 3 and 12, 4 and 9, 6 and 6, right? And let's see, I believe this one is it. That's gonna give me negative 16, which means I gotta take care of these two. I end up with positive 2, negative 18. I'm gonna go ahead and try to simplify by 3. And again, where does that 3 come from? It comes from right here, the A. Once I simplify, I get, I cannot simplify, right? The first one I cannot simplify. This one cannot be simplified. So I'm gonna go ahead and just drop the 3x, and then the 2, positive 2 goes in the back, right? That's one factor. The other factor, it does simplify. It becomes 6 over 1. That's just x minus 6 because it's a negative 6, right? Now, again, these are just factors. They are not solutions. So in order to find that, I gotta make sure that they equal to 0. So initially, they both multiply to 0, but in order for you to get a 0, you only need one of them. I actually don't need the parentheses. I don't know why I wrote them there. I'm gonna erase those parentheses. Okay, and then I'm gonna go ahead and check it out here. Let's do this one first. This one's easy. Plus 6 plus 6. X equals to 6. That's one solution. Here's where you get a little tricky. You're gonna end up with a fraction, but hey, you guys are smart enough to handle fractions, right? I divide by 2. End up with 3x equals negative 2. I divide by 3. X equals to negative 2 over 3, and x equals to 6. And sometimes you'll be asked to write that as a coordinate, or sometimes you'll be asked to write it as just solutions or 0. Oh, juice. 6. And there you have it. Okay. Now, this is not the only method, but it's the easiest method. Unfortunately, it doesn't work all the time, at least not easily. Okay, because you could have something like that is not factorable, right? It's not factorable, which means it's also prime. Okay, if not factorable, prime, same thing. You have 2x squared plus 17x minus 1. That ain't factorable, okay? I mean, for you to try to find a number that multiplies to negative 2 but adds up to 17, that's just, it's not there. So it doesn't work all the time, but we will only give you problems that are factorable this week, I think. Don't give me, don't quote me on that. But if it is factorable, then you can find solutions. Okay? Any questions with that? Comments or get at us, let us know, and we'll try to answer that for you, all right? Okay, see you until the next lesson. Peace.